Hey everybody, it's Master Gallengeist here, bringing you my review of the Season 3 premiere of The Strain, New York Strong. So, overall, I was happy with this episode because it did a good job of setting up kind of where we are in this world at this point, and the beginning set up that the infection has now spread beyond New York, and that it's going into other cities as well. Though, for the foreseeable future, from what I'm seeing, it's going to focus mainly on New York and the group there, unless we kind of travel to any other places. So we get kind of updates on where everybody is at the moment, except for the one character, Dutch. Other than that, everybody's kind of utilized in this episode. So we see that Dr. Ephraim is been staying at his old house because he's been waiting for his wife, who's been turned into a Strigoi, Kelly, to come back, or on the off chance that she has already infected his son Zach, who they kidnapped at the end of last season, would be a Strigoi, and kind of waiting around for that. And he's dealing with that with drinking and kind of just going around, and also creating more kind of biochemical weapons to use against the Strigoi that he had developed in Season 2. So he's doing that. He's actually got access to kind of top-tiered kind of stuff, but he's not using that because he's broken up that his son's been kidnapped. So he actually goes in, starts like creating the stuff and all that, and then the councilwoman from Season 2 is coming in telling him she needs him as like one of her advisors, and that other people can be doing this grunt work and all that he's pretty important. He's like, I'm just doing this. This works for me. And she tells him that his success rate with this has gone down from 100% to 75%, which is a pretty big drop and should have been, ventured forth a little bit sooner, because that's an important thing. He's like, what's going on? Are they adapting to it? Is it too slow? Very variables need to be accounted for. And that's one of the cool things that I've liked about this show. It's doing a nice job of balancing the mythological of vampires, as well as looking at it from a disease kind of standpoint, and kind of using biological warfare against it. Because as you see, in the beginning, this kind of attack with the Master to kind of spread his parasites, because each is kind of like a collection, because they're ancient ones, and the Master is the one ancient one who's spreading this and trying to kind of take over the world. It's a kind of parasite's imperative, but it shows that it's just a parasite kind of thing, because otherwise you would tactically think this is taking up too much of our food supply, i.e. humans. If we do this, there aren't going to be any more humans, there won't be anything to feed on, we will all starve and we will all die. But that's kind of how a parasite goes. It's like grow, expand, take over what we need to survive, even if that eventually leads to our death. But I like that kind of stuff. So he's like getting into his mindset, like, how's this going on? And then, weirdly, throughout this episode, I don't know what he was attempting to do other than, I think, get medical supplies to barter with. But he goes out and he's got low gas and he's fighting the Strigoi, showing that he's still got his tactical moves, but he got really close a couple times. And it's like, jeez, man, you gotta watch out for those worms and everything. And that was good to check in on him and kind of see what was going on before the end of the episode. And then we also got to see Fett, the rat catcher guy, and he's helping this squad of SEALs kind of go after what they're calling the King Rat, which is the Master. Of course, they don't know that because the group's kind of more tight-knit with that, kind of keeping close to the chest about this, so that way that knowledge doesn't completely spread and create panic and everything. So it was cool kind of seeing the SEALs using their kind of tactics against them, but we knew, seeing this, that they're probably going to get screwed over. So he's doing that, helping the councilwoman as well, and he gets to see Satrakian, and he's really pouring over the loom and convinced that the answer to defeating the Master is in this. And he's talking with Quillen, the half Strigoi, half human guy who's been around since Rome. He's also one who was going after the Master, though he was just introduced in Season 2. But overall, I really kind of like his character, because he's got a lot of potential there. They haven't done much with him, but I'm excited to see what they're going to do with him because this is a consummate warrior. He's fought in Rome. He knows tactics. He knows how to fight this guy, and he's got the power to do it. And then Fett comes in, and up until that point with the characterization, they've been doing well, but then here it kind of goes a little weird, and then he starts acting like a complete asshole to Quinlan. I think that's kind of because he was thinking of Satrakian as kind of like the father he never had, and that this dude's kind of like supplanting that, but he starts acting like a dick towards him, even though Quinlan's like, listen, yeah, your SEALs can do a lot of stuff, but every fallen empire's had their elite soldiers. And it's not going to be technology that takes this dude down, it's going to be superior fighting tactics and me, because I'm the only one that's almost Dragori level to be able to fight the Master. So, that's kind of where it's left at that. Satrakian kind of makes up for Fett a little bit as Fett goes out to continue going on with the SEAL team, and of course they're being big and everything, and we see Eichhorst, the second in command of the Master, and he, of course, has history with Satrakian. He was a Nazi that had Satrakian in a concentration camp during World War II, got infected, was working with the Master, and he thought he was going to be the Master's new vessel. But this other person that was infected, Bolivar, was the one that was chosen as the Master's new body when he eventually needed one. So, now they're trying to hunt down kind of the Master, but yet, if you find Eichhorst, you find the Master. So, they had seen him and saw him going around, and then the SEAL team went after him because Fett told him to, and he's trying to go around. And we get a pretty good scene with, of course, the SEALs at this point have been the hunters. And then they go into this church, and they're the ones that are being hunted by the Master, which was done pretty effectively because it kind of less is more approach. Also, it kind of shows that this season's going to be condensed into just 10 episodes, so we're probably going to be saving bigger kind of stuff for later on in the season, but this was done effectively with what they were doing, kind of good horror kind of things. The Master taking out people one by one and just wrecking shit. As Fett came in to kind of like save some people before they all got decimated. And then Eichhorst was like, doing his little mustache twirl to kind of set him off, and he's like, oh. So we also got to see Kelly and Zach, and Kelly has not infected Zach yet. And she's talking about how the Master has let her have him and have him help her with like her makeup and everything, because Eichhorst and Kelly actually look like humans because they apply makeup and prosthetics to hide those features. And then at the end of the episode, Kelly goes to Ephraim's house and gives him an ultimatum. Give us the lumen, and we'll give you Zach. Simple trade. And it'll be interesting because that shows the Master's hand in that the lumen has something in it on him. And that's the big thing that we can take away from this. But it'll be interesting to see what's going to be happening within the group, and that will they do this? How are they going to do it? Because if Zach goes down, then they lose Ephraim because he'll probably go crazy or go further into drinking, and he's one of the only other ones who's got an effective method against the Shigori using biological warfare. So it's not something to be taken lightly, but it shows that the Master is kind of on the ropes, and I think Quinlan should be used at kind of something at some point to be used to either get Zach or be able to get into a position to where at the drop point he can either take out Eichhorst or find a way to get to the Master. But we'll see kind of where that goes. We also saw that Quinlan also had a conversation with the other ancients because they had a new mouthpiece because the other ones got kind of killed. And they just tell them, you know what? The only thing that I'm only working with you guys because we have a common enemy. Just let me do my job. And it was kind of effective to see that, and that these other ancients are afraid of what's going on. Because this could profoundly change how they interact with the world and what they can do in the world. So, overall, I really liked the episode, and I'm interested to see how this season is going to be going. So, tell me what you guys think in the comments below. If you liked it, if you didn't like it, if you agree with me, if you disagree with me. Also, like and subscribe, and I hope you have a good day.